Hey y'all, Casey here. I film in my room, but y'all never actually see the rest of my room, so I thought that today I would show you what the rest of my room looks like. Um, I kind of think that rooms are like a reflection of ourselves outside of ourselves, so um, thought I could, yeah, show you all a little bit more, show you some of the things I like and all that by showing you around my room. Okay, so, so this is where I um, keep my Warhammer figures that I am sort of in the process of still working with. And then this is my desk that I do all my painting at and editing and all the business organizational stuff that I do. This is a clipping from a Chicago newspaper that used to belong to my mom, and she gave it to me somewhere along the line when I moved out, and I've kept it ever since. It's a cartoon of a Chicago L platform in the winter, which is a very familiar thing to anyone who's who's lived in Chicago. This is my National Lawyers Guild hat. I used to be a part of the National Lawyers Guild, where we would go to protests and document things that went down there and lots of other stuff, but that's what the hat was mostly for, going to protests. This is a Chicago poster that was given to me by an incredible lawyer that I used to work with named Jane Fox. She's also from Chicago, and she passed it along to me, which is extremely sweet of her. And I used to hang it in my office at our firm, and now it hangs in my room. Oh, this is Brandon Scott Graham, if it focuses. Brandon Scott Graham, there he is. A little capybara. There's a little snow globe of Chicago, where I'm originally from. There's a little Frankenstein toy that I got from Burger King when I was very small. He's my favorite of the Universal monsters, and I just really like him, so I've kept him ever since. This is my sort of corkboard of memories. That right there is my dad, and he's pointing at, he's pointing at a hole in the tail of the helicopter that he was flying at the time. That's him, obviously very, very happy, coming home, or coming back to base rather, after a very intense mission where he was shot at, and he didn't even know that he had actually gotten shot, like that there were holes in his helicopter, until after he had gotten back. So that's actually him right there, learning that he had some holes in his helicopter. This right there is the lobby of just one of my favorite places in the world. It's the Hotel del Coronado. I love it a whole lot. This right next to it is a silver fox that I saw on the next card, which is Mount Rainier. I saw it on Mount Rainier. I was like just a few feet away from him. We walked together for a while up the mountain. And then right below those is, it says admit one. It's a ticket to the Beat Museum in San Francisco. It is another one of my favorite places. I love everything about the Beats. I love Beat literature and the culture and everything about it. So getting to go there was very special to me. Over there is the Waterfalls of Oregon. It was this beautiful ad campaign they did. and that I had a bunch of the different pieces of art that they made for that campaign, but I just kept that one. And right below it is a thing for the Redwood National and State Parks, as you can see. That's another one of my favorite places. It's up in Northern California. I used to go there a bunch when I lived in Portland. And sort of right between those two is another tiny little picture of my dad in his military flight suit. And then there's my dad again, right there. And that's, again, him in his military fatigues in Vietnam. Then, let's see, just a bunch of other stuff. This one, ooh, right here. This is some photos that we took quite a while ago now, but it was a bunch of us together. It was Brandon, myself, Izzy Wild, and Natalie Mars. We were all hanging out. Over here is a little brochure that I got from Stonewall, which is now a national park technically in New York City. It's where the gay rights movement started. And then right here is this, it's a sheet that has basically the 4 responses that you would give to a police officer if you're being arrested. This long piece of paper is a really interesting thing. It's a story. It's a short story that I got for free in the Edmonton airport in Canada, in Alberta, Canada. And it's just it was a story machine. You just like pressed like what you want, like a story about such and such, and then it prints it out for you, and then you have something to read in between your flights. I thought that was like a really cool idea, so I've kept the story. Let's see, what else? Oh, the extraterrestrial highway sticker right there is for the extraterrestrial highway, which is the highway that like runs pretty close to Area 51, and I took that highway with my mom to actually go to Area 51, which was very fun. Not far from Las Vegas, if you didn't know. And then this map, some of the pins are a bit hard to see because some of them they're clear, but these are the places that I've been to. I've been to basically, I think it's all but like 11 states and 2 or 3 Canadian provinces. But there's that. Oh, and then these are South African snacks, South African potato chips. South Africa is another one of my like weird fixations, so I love South African things. These are a bunch of pictures of my friends and my family. That's a sticker from Bondage Fairies, which is a really fun comic, maybe one of my favorites. And there's my friend Janie Blade being a goofball. And let's see, this one is a little postcard thing for the North Cascades National Park, which is an incredibly beautiful national park, which is free to get into, and Jack Kerouac stayed there in a fire tower. I haven't actually gone to the fire tower yet because it is quite a trek, but one day. I was just happy that I was able to go to that national park at all. And then down here, underneath my snacks, I didn't clean up or anything for this. I just wanted to, just kind of decided, hey, I should show all this off. But anyways, these are my comics, most of my comics. Got a whole lot of them, and then my paints, obviously, right here. That is kind of that. And then these are like my little knickknacks or whatever, as well as some manga. But yeah, just got a bunch of little cuties up there. And then, God, obviously, I have a problem. So much Warhammer. So much Warhammer. And besides that, there's some beat literature, and then the very controversial some of the very controversial gore books, and an Invisible Man is in there as well. which is one of my favorite like Victorian um, classic monsters and just H.G. Wells stuff. Some Junji Ito, and then kind of from there over is poems. A lot of the poetry that I have, which again is a lot of it's beat stuff and basically like queer woman stuff and Lou Reed, all that jazz. And then down here we have my favorite two authors shelf. So it's Nabokov, all Nabokov, and then all Brandon Graham, with a little Fennekin, little fox Pokemon sleeping down there. And inside of my little cagey thing these are my various like journals and whatnot, and then like just some random books, just like book overflow. And down here, I got this Shakespeare when I stage managed a production of the complete works of William Shakespeare abridged when I was in high school. I got it back then and I've kept it ever since. And some of my favorite books are here, like The Devil in the White City, Train Spotting, American Gods. Pretty much all these ones are some of my favorites. Some really good stuff for sure. Over here is my Alice corner. They don't all fit there, but I love Alice in Wonderland, so I've got a lot of Alice books. These are a bunch of my oversized books that don't really fit on the shelf normally. The one on the bottom is this super weird, if I remember correctly, it's originally in Norwegian, but it's a super weird comic that I had never seen anything like it, so I got that one. Satania is sort of like in the middle, right above Hellboy, and that is a fantastic comic. It's one of the ones that I frequently go back to, and lots of other good stuff, but those are some of the highlights. Some other stuff. Let's see, what else we got down here? Just some magazines and comics. I have so many books. Heartstoppers. It's a really good queer young adult book series. Got some of my Fables books over here. Some of them are on another bookshelf. My Doom Patrol, my Simon Hanselman is over here. He's another one of my favorite creators. Mobius, Jason, he did the, where's my finger? There's Goodnight Hem and If You Steal, and Shh, that's hard to say, Shh, and The Left Bank Gang and Werewolves of Montpellier. And then there's also Starfighter over here. It's probably hard to read the title, but those three books with like the colored squares on them, those are Starfighter, which is like a queer sort of romance, pornographic kind of book. That's really, really, really good. And then, what else do we have over here? This is actually, these were a couple of, or some photos that I took for a photography class in high school. They're the same thing, but the top one is just me being a silly kid, just experimenting with different exposure techniques and individual coloring and that kind of thing. And there's an igloo that I built with, we used to build them every winter in Chicago, and just go inside and hang out, read a book, sit next to a candle, maybe eat some snacks. And then here's my Beat Reader. It's got lots of beat stuff. King City, Fables. Oh, I've got a Wrinkle in Time, the adaptation by Hope Larson there, which is it's one of my favorite young adult series, and I think it's a really beautiful adaptation of that. Up here we've got just a smattering of books, some manga, some novels and such, more Warhammer things, more manga, yeah, A House of Leaves, it's right there. That's another one that I've read so many times over the years. It's such a weird book. Never ever seen anything else that even comes close to being like that. Here's some of my Warhammer guys. All that good stuff. Oh, here is a copy of The Great Mirror. Wait, where it is? The Great Mirror of Male Love, which is a very old Japanese treatise on like the pros of being homosexual. There's a bunch of pins right here, pins and stuff from when I worked at Disney, and then just that I've collected over the years. That is a pinup calendar done by Brandon's grandfather, which is really cool. It's like original, it's super old, and they just put out a art book collecting a bunch of his stuff, which was very exciting. And then that is a Warhammer, let's say lewd, I won't look at it too much, lewd calendar. These are my many bags and hoodies and such. Here's my little toadstool. That's got this postcard. I used to have a bunch more up on the walls. The others are, I think, are away right now, but it's by an artist named EPHK, who Brandon is really friendly with. He sent us a bunch of his little postcards, which was very sweet of him. He's super talented, and yeah, everything he does is really rad. This one right here, this like Last Supper type of thing, is by my friend Ashes Wednesday, who's also a really rad human. He always brings us over little gifts whenever he comes to the house. Big Blondie poster, because I love Blondie. There's this poster from Omaha the Cat Dancer that is Brandon's, that he let me put up on this wall. It's signed and everything. This is my like finished on display Warhammer area. Got a bunch of like my 40K, most of my 40K finished stuff is up top, and then the middle is a bunch of my fantasy stuff, which is basically all, or almost all, vampires and ghosts and all that stuff. And then down below is some less finished things, some things that are kind of finished, kind of the in-between limbo, just lots of other stuff. I got, yeah, just other things. And this group of Space Marines right here, it's from a made-up chapter of Space Marines that I made up, and they're inspired by my dad's squadron in when he flew with the Marine Corps in Vietnam. They were called the Golden Eagles, and their colors were red and gold, just like this. And as you can see, some of them are not quite finished, but anyways, that's something I'm pretty proud of. I think it's pretty cool. This is like the couch that we film on and stuff, and I just hang out on. And that's my like to read pile. It's massive. That's honestly probably not even all of it. This dress hanging on my window is this beautiful dress that was made literally for me, like couture, by this incredible lady named Sloane White back in Portland. I modeled it for her for a runway show that she did, and she gave me the dress, and it's literally made to my measurements, which is very, very special, and it's one of my prides, or yeah, pride and joys. There we go. Speaking of pride, up here are a bunch of flags that I got when I was living in New York, and marriage equality was decided, and the whole city, like, we all were celebrating a ton, and I went down to Stonewall, and those, they were giving out flags and stuff, and I've kept those ever since. And then next to it is a kigurumi, or onesie, of a, if I remember correctly, it's a fennec fox? Yeah, I think it's a fennec fox. I do love my foxes. This is kind of just like a special space for me. It's I burn incense and come here to like meditate or pray, and just kind of like recenter myself. And next to that is, oh, and I should say, so on here is a bunch of cool little things. So there's a Totoro music box, a little music box from France from when I went there super long time ago. The Alice in Wonderland tea set, because I love Alice in Wonderland. This is, over here is a giant pine cone that I got with my sister when we were driving to Lassen Volcanic National Park, which is again in Northern California. On top of it is a feather from a quail from our old neighborhood, because there were these adorable little quails that would just motor around our little neighborhood. They were so cute. And then here are some crystals that I have both found and bought. I've got this statue in the back that I used to work for a judge, and she gave that to me, I think as a passing the bar gift. Either way, it was incredibly thoughtful and sweet, and I've kept it ever since. She put the little rainbow banner on there, which was so sweet, because yeah, I was gonna fight for queer and trans folks. Oh, and then that hat is from when I graduated the Disney college program many moons ago. And then over here, I've got a Chicago flag. Got this print that my sister made for me. Like I said, I love my foxes, and so it says "Stay Foxy." These are some posters that I got from different concerts that I've been to. I used to have a ton more, but in all the moving, things got lost. And then down here is a mask that I got to wear in a music video. I think someone's already guessed who the music video was for in a comment on my post about that, but I'm technically not supposed to say. If you know the face, then you know. And then this is a cool print of the lead singer from Alien Sex Fiend, which is a band that I like. And this is a beautiful print of an Alice image on a dictionary or encyclopedia page rather that my sister got for me. Down here is my little record setup. I really like the ritual of having to put on a record and then you listen to the whole thing and just listen to it in the order that it was intended to be listened to and all that. So I know it's silly and anachronistic, but makes me happy, so I still have that. And this is a signed CD insert. Maybe the whole case is in the little frame, I'm not sure, but at least the insert by Motion City Soundtrack. It's their first major album. They were one of my favorite bands for a super long time. They still are one of my favorite bands, and they've helped me a lot through the years. They sing a lot about mental health and related struggles, and basically mental health and addiction and lots of other stuff. things that I appreciate that they sing about. It gives me strength listening to all that, because it makes me feel a little bit less alone. I struggle with some of those things as well. And then this is my closet. Ta-da! Yep, here's my clothes, such as they are. Ooh. Shoes. Lots of shoes. There's actually a Warhammer board back there for Kill Team. Just one of the sort of smaller versions of Warhammer. And yeah. And I feel like that's kind of it. This is where I spend most of my days, kind of hanging out in here and reading and all that. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share a little bit more of myself with you all today. Thanks for watching. I hope it was enjoyable for you all. Yeah, now you just know a little bit more about me. Until next time.